'cause you're powerful when your name is called.
Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Reclaiming My Life. I truly appreciate you all for rocking with me every week and tuning in to the Reclaiming My Life show. Look, y'all, today is just super chill, relaxed. Let me tell you, I'm sitting here with my girl, my best friend, y'all. Look, some of y'all might remember her from season 1 of Reclaiming My Life when I had all of my co-authors on the show with me. Co-authors from Amazon's #1 bestseller, Reclaiming My Life. Look, y'all, it's a collaboration book. So if you haven't gotten the book, look, I would be surprised if you haven't, but if you have not gotten the book, please go to Amazon and get Reclaiming My Life, or of course, contact me and get your book. But Miss Ursula Jones was a co-author, y'all, where she was talking about don't tell me. New addictions, yes. Y'all. She was talking about new addictions. But look, y'all, before I keep going on and on and on, because I'm so excited and so hyped, because this is what we do. Yes. Miss Ursula Jones, you welcome to Reclaiming My Life.
Thank you so much for inviting me to your show. I appreciate you.
Yes, baby, you're so welcome. I feel like you don't need an invitation. You are absolutely a part of Reclaiming My Life. From the very beginning, you know, being a co-author in the book, talking about new addictions. And I know we're not here today to talk about new addictions.
Right.
But look.
No, but it's okay.
I know, but that's how, you know, it really came about, you know, and because you're here today, you know, I definitely must let them know, because, you know, we have a lot of viewers who aren't familiar with you, because season 1 was all the way back in, 3 years ago?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, so again, new addictions is where, you know, I'm going to let you just tell them a little bit.
Okay. Well, new addictions, where I started talking about my drug abuse back in over 20 years ago. I was addicted to cocaine, and Claudia inspired me to be in the collaboration book, telling my story, my testimony, because maybe I can inspire other people out there that's on drugs, that's trying to get off drugs, you know. So yes, and I just grabbed onto the collaboration book and wrote my story about how I was addicted to drugs.
Yes. Look, you know what? And I know right now somebody is listening to this who have not heard you share this, and they want to know, you know, how did you get off drugs and reclaim your life?
It was God. It was God. It was prayer. It was my children. Yes, because my children was little children, and I was going with a guy, and he got killed, shot up 8 times, and he was a drug dealer, and of course his people, they was confident me, and we became friends, and I just ended up on drugs. So it was a story, and I wanted to tell it, and it was hard getting off of it. So yes, I was on drugs for like 2 years. I was on cocaine.
Yes.
Lost everything.
Wow. And again, y'all, we're not here today. We're not even here today to talk about this. But you know what? Every time I hear your testimony, you know what? It's so powerful, because you're saying it was God.
Yes.
You did not go to rehab. Look, Pastor Teddy Cross, who is also my artist, he's a gospel artist, and I'm his booking manager, you know, and he has a testimony of how he too was on cocaine, and he said he didn't go to rehab, he went to Nehab.
Right.
And you went to Nehab.
I sure did.
Took it to God, and God delivered, he restored, and you were able to reclaim your life.
Thank you, God.
Wow. Yes, thank you, God.
Yes.
What an amazing, powerful testimony I can hear. And this is what I love about Reclaiming My Life. You know, we come and we talk about, in the book in itself, we talk about the trials, the trauma we experience in our lives. You know, I talk about sexual trauma, the grief, the domestic violence, you know, wrongful eviction. You know, we're all going through something in life, health challenges, financial challenges, you know, so many different challenges in life.
Right.
But when we come together and just say, hey, you know, I was going through this, you know, but God restored me.
Yes,
and I
he did.
reclaimed
God,
my
thank you.
life, you know, to give others hope. And this is this is why I sit here today. So Ursula, thank you. Thank you for being
Thank
a
you.
part of
Thank
Reclaiming
you,
My
honey.
Life.
Thank you.
Yes, you're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you.
Yes. So look, today, y'all, today, look, and let me tell you, from Reclaiming My Life, the book, God said, this is not it. He said to me, this is not it. He wanted to put me on platforms because he said there are going to be so many people who will be inspired and they're going to be ready to share because people are suffering in silence, but by you sharing and letting them know it's okay because, we don't share because we're going to be judged. People be
I was
like, oh,
embarrassed. I was so
you see what I'm
embarrassed.
saying?
Yes. Yes.
But when you heard Pastor Teddy Cross, and you're like, oh
Yes.
wow, he went through that, and he's a pastor, and he's
Right.
a gospel artist,
Right.
he traveled the world.
Yes.
It gave you hope,
It did. Yeah, I was.
and that's what we're doing on here.
Yes, that's
We're giving
right.
people hope
That's right.
that you're gonna be all right, okay, and you
Yes.
can reclaim your life. But today we're talking about unhealthy friendships.
Right. Right.
Let's get into it. Because I can keep talking and talking and talking. Y'all, I told you now it's going to be chill. I'm here with my girl. Yes, we're talking about unhealthy friendships. Oh, and that's what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
From Reclaiming My Life, the book, became this television show, a radio, podcast. And, for a while we were doing podcasts together.
Right.
And on our podcast, we would talk about topics like unhealthy friendships and so many more topics. Y'all can check us out on Spotify, okay? Reclaiming My Life. But unhealthy friendships, we talk about just being in relationships in general, whether it's a marriage or a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship or, whatever kind of relationship you may have. But when we think about unhealthy relationships, that's what we think about. And we don't talk about unhealthy friendships. How do you even know that you're in an unhealthy friendship, right? So, I'm going to give it to you. How do you know that you're in an unhealthy friendship?
When you're not paying attention, was for me. When you're not paying attention to your friend, when you're not knowing what's going on, how your friend is doing. Because it's like talking, I say it's like talking to my mom or my sister every day. Me and you talk, I want to talk to my friend every day. I want to know what's going on. I want to know how you feeling, what you doing and whatever.
Right.
And I don't want to hurt you, because you're my friend.
Right.
I don't want to hurt you.
Right.
I want to be loyal to you. I want to even cater to you because you're my friend, right?
All
I want
right
to
now.
cater to my friend. You know how we do. So yes, I love my friend, and I want to be there I want to be there for you. And if I'm not, I want you to step in and tell me, look, something is wrong. Maybe somebody died or somebody got hurt. Maybe I'm overworked or I'm overstressed or something.
Yes.
And maybe I'm not putting in what I always put in. I want to know that. Because that happened with me and you, remember?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
It did.
Yes.
It does. And I like that you said, what you said, because at the end of the day, you said, talking to your friend, checking in on your friend. I always say, Lord, I don't think I have a space in my life for another friendship because it's a responsibility.
Yes, it is a lot.
A friendship is a responsibility, because yes, you do. You have to, hey, girl, you good?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Because, if you're really, really good friends and you're not talking and checking in,
right.
Anything can be going on in your life, and if I'm not there to support you, when you're going through something because I'm too busy or, I got things going on in my own life, then you're like, what is the purpose? And that's like a marriage. And we're going to get into that because, we had that conversation, with the marriage, you start feeling a certain way, like, hey, I'm not getting the time. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that, and that's going to take me to, I think it was about less than a year ago, because we've been good friends. A little bit of back history, we grew up in the same small community, y'all.
Right.
We grew up in a city with no stoplight. So we could walk to each other's house, y'all.
But we didn't.
Y'all hear the y'all? We from the country, y'all. Yes, but we could walk to church. We could, everything like on the same road. So we grew up in the same community, but we weren't really friends. I think we became really good friends in 2019.
Yeah,
now she was always good friends with my first cousin, who's like my sister.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were good friends. But in 2019, my cousin lost her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of brought us together by, you know, us both being there to support her.
Yes.
And so we became really good friends
We
and have
did.
been really good friends since
did.
2019, to the point where we travel.
Right. We did everything.
Go everywhere.
But remind you, I wasn't working. So we
She
was
like,
so I was
before you
staying
get into it, you know.
I wasn't working, and I was staying at your house more than I was probably staying
Yes,
home.
yes. And look, she lives in Texas and
Yes.
I live in Virginia,
Mhm.
but we always met at work. You
We
know,
did.
just like
Yes,
a
we did.
relationship.
Right.
You know, I think we were seeing one another, if not every month, every other month.
Yes,
That's how
yes.
much traveling
Yes.
we were doing. And so I think over the last year, and it's like she said, she wasn't working, she's spoiled, and you know, her husband, you know, be like, baby, do you, okay? She's spoiled. And so over the last year,
Mhm.
you know, things sort of changed in our relationship.
Right.
And you know, and I'm a bigger communicator.
She is.
Yes, a bigger communicator. And I love to communicate.
Right,
Y'all.
you do.
I don't play about, you
Mhm.
know, let's talk. You know, we're not talking. We ain't doing nothing.
Okay.
We ain't doing nothing.
Mhm.
And Ursula is the type, she's not gonna say anything. And I'm like, y'all, I'm telling you, like boyfriend girlfriend relationship. I'm like, this ain't gonna work. This relationship is not gonna work. If you can't communicate with me, we just not gonna work out.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to say less than a year ago,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
things really sort of shifted for
Mhm.
us, and I started telling her, you know, I can see a change. I see a change in you.
Right.
You don't call the way you used to call. We're not talking anymore. You know, I'm going through some things. And I
Right,
feel like I don't have my
right.
friend. I can't talk to my friend. You know, and you were saying I don't see the change.
Right,
You know,
right.
I didn't realize it, and then I'm thinking, that's a problem.
Mhm.
So look, y'all, that's a problem. If your friend
Yes.
cannot see the change or realize that there's a change, that they're not talking to you, however your relationship is set up, because for us, we talked every day.
Right.
You know,
Right.
several times a
All
day.
hours.
Hours, yes.
We even FaceTime.
FaceTime, whatever, y'all. We going to appointments.
Right.
We taking care of business because she's also a notary. She also has her cleaning business. So when she said she wasn't working, that means she wasn't clocking in. She was on her own time.
Right.
And then with me owning a home care agency, I'm on my own time. So, you know, that's why and how, y'all, we get to
Right.
talk all day.
Right.
So I know some of y'all are saying, well, what were y'all doing? Y'all can talk all day. Yes, but just being on our own time.
Right.
And so, you know, I communicated with you, you
And
know,
I'm glad you
several
did.
times. Yes, that I see a change, and you know, and I didn't like how it was feeling.
Right.
You know, and we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna talk about unhealthy friendships and signs of unhealthy friendships. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
My mother is one of the strongest people I know. It wasn't necessarily because she was in love, but really again, she's looking for a way to escape the abuse. We unfortunately became homeless.
The doctor said we both almost died.
So I suffered. I suffered in silence.
From there on, she became my momager. We started traveling all over the world.
And nearly 8 years later, I'm sitting here as my mom's business partner.
Then we started something called Quartet Unstoppable.
If she says she's gonna do it, she does it. It seems like everything you touch turns to gold.
Everybody that was raised around her is doing good in life.
I began to really admire and respect her.
I was instantly motivated. I'm talking about a full-blown production, lights, camera, action. I'm so thankful that Claudia and I crossed paths.
Claudia always go over and beyond.
But for someone who's been hurt so much, she only wants to help you.
My mom always finds a way to count everything joy.
All right, y'all. We are back. Today I'm sitting here with my beautiful friend, Miss Ursula Jones, and we are talking about unhealthy friendships. And going back to, the conversation, it's important to communicate with
It
your
is.
friend because sometimes, we can start feeling a certain way, and sometimes people just step back and don't say anything. And then a relationship ends, and you look back a year or two later, and you have no idea why did we stop being
Right,
friends?
right,
And
right.
you never communicated.
Exactly.
So yes, we did. We communicated. And sometimes, look, I'm even taking it back to the female male relationship. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, she got a new friend, right? And so she I think it was hard to balance.
Right,
Yes,
right,
I think it was hard to balance. But anyway, what's important is to work it out, to talk about it and see, what changes we can make to make it all come together where, everybody's in a happy, healthy space.
Right.
Yes. So, some signs of unhealthy friendships. I'm going to say one, I think, is no empathy. When we're going through things, and your friend don't have empathy for you, no compassion,
Right.
no nothing, right?
Right.
And they start, you can say, friend, I'm going through blah, 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 right? And then they reverse it and say, well, I'm going through, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And turn it on down. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't like it.
Mhm.
I don't like it because with me and you, I'm used to you. So if you telling me and you explaining me to something, I'm not gonna sit here and say that. You know what I'm saying? I want to comfort you, and I get back on me at another time because that's not my time. It's your time.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
do.
focus on you right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I appreciate that about you.
Yes.
Have you ever had a friend, who shows no empathy?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, Lord.
Mhm.
Yes. And every time when you talk about something, like if I was to say that I'm hurting, they hurting, or I'm going through something, they going through something, can I explain myself?
No.
Can it be on me sometimes? It's always you.
Uh-huh.
So yes, I understand that. Yes.
And let me ask you, so with that, how does that make you feel? Do you ever communicate, just sit down and say, friend, do you realize that every time, have you ever done that?
I haven't.
Mhm.
Because we're not close like me and you. Now, if it was me and you, yes, I would say that. But I haven't, which I should. I probably will say that next time. Yes, but
Well, you know what, and that's another thing, because you're saying we're not close like that. But anybody that you're
Right,
trying to pour your
right,
feelings out
right.
to, or you feel like you're close enough to share what you're going through, that's close enough.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, so that's unhealthy.
Maybe it is. It's
you
very
know?
unhealthy.
Yes. So a lot of times, again, we don't even realize that we're in something unhealthy.
Right.
And then I'm gonna say, let me see. Mm, constant criticism. Constant criticism. And sometimes, people aren't direct.
Okay.
We can be indirect, or we can sort of laugh when we're saying something to make it seem like we're not serious when we
Right.
say it. But do you have a friend, or have you had a friend that said, just for girl, them pants ugly, or every day it's just something that, you'd be like, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, and I'm no longer friends with that person no more.
Okay.
Mhm.
Constant criticism.
Yes. I had it before. I don't want to be around that.
It's unhealthy.
It's very unhealthy, and it's so unhealthy that I don't need that around me. I don't have the time. I don't have the time for it.
Yes. And of course, constructive criticism,
Right, right.
is important. Constructive criticism, because if you have a friend, who can never say anything to you, that's going to help you,
Right.
or supposed to help you, then that's really not a friend. If they
Right,
got you going out
right.
looking any kind of way,
Right. Right.
but if it's constructive, that's good, But just those sly remarks,
Right.
no. Let me see. How about a person who drain you and stress you?
Oh God. Whew. I had one of those.
Okay, so you keep saying you had one of those.
Okay, it's the same person. So yes. And I just can't, I can't, when it's draining and all that, I mean, and I know I done tried to work it out, you know what I'm saying, several times, then, why stay there? Why? There's something wrong with that person, because I thought it was something that I did. And I, did it again and did it again. And I was like, oh no. Mm-mm. And that's just associate, not a real close friend like me and you, but just like a friend, like a associate, something like that. But it was too draining. I mean, I don't have what's going on with me now. I didn't have the time for that. Like, it was way too much. I don't know if they had a friend that they didn't, wasn't a friend to somebody or not, or they didn't have the experience or whatever, but I just couldn't, it's too much.
I love that you said, that you couldn't stay there.
Right.
Because a lot of times we get into relationships and the relationships are abusive.
Right.
And that could be mental, emotional, physical, or any kind of abuse. And we stay.
Right.
And sometimes people don't take emotional abuse serious, but that really affects your physical.
It did.
It affects your physical.
It did.
When you have someone who is draining you, you're always stressed, they're manipulating you.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, friends, okay, they do that.
Right.
And that's why it's important for you to realize that friendship is unhealthy, and it affects so much. What are some things that you will, some signs you will look at to say, oh no, this friendship is unhealthy?
Let me see. One is like always talking against a person. It's always about them. Never about us. What was some other stuff? I don't know. It was just always about that person. You know what I'm saying? It was just it was a lot.
And of course, jealousy. A lot of times we don't realize we're in a relationship, a friendship, with people who are jealous of us.
That.
Right.
Because I love you, and I don't want to be jealous of you. Like, what you do is what you do. You know what I'm saying? I love you, you love me. We support each other. We always have each other backs and stuff like that. I like that kind of friendship.
Yes,
absolutely. I don't want a friendship that you jealous of me. What for? What I have?
Right.
Like, I'm jealous of you. I don't need that.
Yes.
Yes, that's very unhealthy.
Yes, and I think we realized a couple of years ago, we were, you know what? I don't really throw the word friend around, like that.
Right.
Associate. We had an associate, and we both were starting to realize that not only the two of us, but some other, women were saying to me, do you realize, that what you post, this person is copying and pasting.
Right.
You change 2 words in your post.
Right.
The way you pose in a picture, this person then the next day or two, take a picture and post the same way. And I'm like,
want to be you.
Weird.
Yeah, they want to be you.
Weird, right?
I love you, but I don't want to be you. But I love you.
Exactly.
What you do is what you do, and what I do is what I do.
We're all unique,
right,
and that's what
right,
makes it beautiful,
right,
because
right.
I love you for who
who
you
I
are.
am. That's right.
Your personality, and
Right.
what you do, and how I
Exactly.
can support you in what you're doing. And it's not to say that we all can, well, not all of us, y'all, but we can't do the same thing.
Exactly.
Sometimes, people feel like, oh, well, she doing that, I better not do it, because she gonna get mad. Y'all, you're not grown then. You're not grown. I feel like you can do anything that you're passionate about. If that's
Right.
your passion, you do it.
Right.
Because we can have the same passions, but don't do something because somebody else is doing and
Right.
that's not your passion. Right.
Right.
So
Right.
yes, but to that point, I was like, no, I
Right.
can't be
Right.
friends with this
Because
person.
what
not
you
like
do, I
that.
can't do. You talk on here and stuff. I can't do all this stuff you do, and I wouldn't try. Because what I do is what I do, and you love me for who I am and what I
You're a
do.
content creator.
Right.
Baby, You have to teach me how to do that. And I'd be like, Ursula, show me how to do this. Help me with this. You know, and you
Yes.
come to me and be like,
Right.
friend, look, I got to
Right,
get this.
right.
I got to get this letter together.
That's
you know,
right.
I
Because I
didn't
know
what to
you're
say,
good in
so
that.
so,
That's
you
right.
know, and that's the
Right.
beauty again in a friendship because you know you have some things that I can pull from. I have
Exactly.
some things you can
Exactly.
pull from. You know, and that's what makes us a great team.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
because I need you.
Exactly.
You know
And you
what I'm
told me
saying?
that once before when we first became friends. I felt like I didn't have enough to do, to pour back into you. And I was like, you was like, yes, you do. When I need you, you need me.
Yes.
And when I need you, you need me. And when you need me, I got you.
Yes.
So that's how it was. And I was like, okay, yeah, that do sounds good.
Yes.
So I
yes,
felt
I
good
had
about
been
that.
very clear
Yes, I
because,
felt good about that.
I was like, no, we put it this way: we all have gifts, right?
Right.
And she didn't realize, or you didn't
Right.
realize. I'm sitting here talking
Right.
to you. I'm talking to the viewers as well.
Right, right.
But you felt like I was doing more or giving
Right,
more,
right.
and then I had to show you
You did.
how you give to me and
Right.
the things that you give
And
to
I
me.
felt so good about it.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
And see, that's what healthy friendship
That's
is
right.
all about.
That's right.
Because
That's
an
right.
unhealthy friendship, you may would have
Right.
had somebody that,
Mhm.
say, well, yeah, I do. Or yeah,
Right.
blah, blah, this and that.
Exactly.
But you have to realize how valuable you are. We're all valuable.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we're all valuable. And, if your friend can't see how valuable you are,
Mm-hmm.
you're in an unhealthy friendship.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. So you know what though? Before we close, those were just some little tidbits, y'all. Little tidbits on unhealthy friendships. Because I pray that somebody got something out of this to say, you know what? Yeah, that girl really, she just stressed me out.
Right.
And sometimes even when we're trying to find excuses, like when we're invited somewhere
Right.
and we say, Lord, I hope they cancel. Or Lord, I don't want to go. I don't feel like being
That
bothered
when
with them.
that's right.
You in an unhealthy friendship. So what are you gonna do about it? Start with the communication. Have a conversation with your friend. Okay, have a conversation because sometimes people don't see themselves, or sometimes it's the trauma that they have experienced in life where they don't know how to be a good friend. That they're putting some things off on you that they experience,
Right.
and sometimes people are hurting, and the only way they know how to feel better is to try and hurt you.
Me.
Yes.
Right.
So before we go, Miss Ursula, since you were here, season 1, Reclaiming My Life, you've had a book where you visionary author of
Yes.
Resisting Temptation,
Yes.
Overcoming and Surviving Addiction.
Mhm.
So, what final words do you want to leave to our viewers when we're talking about resisting temptation? Because sometimes friends can tempt you to do certain things.
Oh, yes. Well, I don't want to be around somebody that's going to tempt me to do something that I know I don't want to do because I done been through the drugs, I done been through the heartaches, I done been through everything like that, and I done reclaimed my life.
All right, girl, come on, come
I
on.
have already reclaimed my life, so I would tell them, just to make sure, that that person is right for you. Make sure that you stay in a healthy relationship. Check on your friends. Make sure they're okay. Like we do. Like we did. We checked on each other. We talked about it, and we're back together.
Y'all look.
Because look, I said, look, let me know, girlfriend, are you breaking up with me? like Portia told what's name on Housewives. Are you breaking up with
Yes,
me?
and what I
So,
said, we have
yes.
work to do.
We have work to do, and we made it work.
Yes.
Because you know what? That's when I know that you really love me. Because you was willing to work it out.
Yes.
You was willing to work it out. You was willing to let me know and let me see that side that I didn't see. So I thank you for that, friend. I love you.
I love you
And
too,
I
girl.
pray that if you found a friend, you found a true loyal friend as the one I have right here next to me.
Yeah, y'all, she too good. She too good to let her go. Yes.
Yes. So yes, to the viewers, find your good friend.
Yes. Find you
Be in
good-
a healthy relationship and a healthy friendship.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
that's the key.
That's exactly what I was
That's
going to
the key.
say.
Yes.
Yes, y'all.
Yes.
So make sure your friends are good friends and that
Right.
you're in a healthy friendship. We love y'all.
Yes, we
Till
love
next
y'all.
week. Y'all be blessed.